Today I got a 2008 CRF 80F, and it's got a very, very, very flat tire. So I got a tube. So I'm gonna run you through the steps on how to take the tube off, put a new tube in, and do all that stuff. So we'll get into it. Okay, so I got the tube. This particular bike is a 16-inch rim, and it takes a 250. So this is a 225 to 250 for a 16-inch rim. On your tire, it should say it right there, 2.5 16, so 250 16. So whatever that says, all bikes are going to be different. It's just going to be this nut here, and there should be a bolt, and then that bolt should just push right through, and then the tire will just pull out. You will have this brake right here, which once you pull it down, it'll just slide out of here, and then it should just pull out. And then you can always check your brakes too to make sure your front brakes are decent. So let's get into this. Okay, so there is a bolt, and there is a nut, obviously, and then there's this little spacer. And from there, the spacer's over on this side, and it just sits right there. And then this is just like this, and that little thing just slides right up in there. So when you're done, unloosen this nut a little bit so these pads kind of suck themselves in, and then just pull it out. And then obviously while you're here, go ahead and inspect your pads, and then obviously inspect the inside of your tire too, which is right here. Just make sure this is all good in there. For this job, what I'm going to suggest is, first of all, something that you're going to need. You can use pry bars, but I recommend these if you don't want to mess up or scuff up your rims. But just good old tire spoons. They're not super expensive. They're just simple things. Go buy them at your local dealer. These are just Motion Pro. These ones I've had for years. That's why they look the way they do. And then the next thing I like to have is, this is just kind of my way. You can use soapy water. You can use anything, but I like to use baby powder. So just any type of baby powder. Go to your dollar store and just pick up baby powder. This is lavender scent. Don't recommend it. It is extremely, extremely strong lavender. So what we'll do is, what we're going to do is we're just going to pick up one side. It don't matter what side you're on, just whichever side you want. Do it on here because this is more of a stable side. And then what you're going to want to do is unloosen this nut. It should be a 10, but I'm not 100%, so we'll check. Okay. So it's a 12. So now we'll just loosen up this nut. So I'll speed through this real quick. So it took me a little bit, but I got that off finally. Now this will just push through. So now what you're going to want to do is also you're going to want to have a tube. So here's the tube I need right here. It will come with a nut, and it will come with a new cap. So your cap and your nut was on this one. You can throw them out. You don't need them. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to find a place and just start pulling the tire out. So you just want to keep taking bites of the tire. So as you keep going, you just slowly take more and more of that tire. So you just keep working your way down the tire. And as you can see, try to keep your things in there. And you're just going to slowly keep peeling it off till you get to the end. And then just like that, it should all pop up. And now your one side of your tire is out. So now we'll go back over to the valve stem, and I'm just going to pull that valve stem forward. Push it through, and then that. Now what you'll do is you just pull it until it's out. All the way around there until it's out. Now, yeah, that's what I figured. This is the most common. I always have them go right there, right by the valve stem. That's where mine always wear out. I've always had that problem with tubes, so. Now tubes, I'm gonna cut them down, because a nice way to reuse these tubes is if you need extra like padding in this thing, you can always put them around that. Kind of put that tube inside this one, and it will give you a little bit heavier duty of a tube. Or in these tires, you have this little band, which I have just tape in there right now, but it's just a little tiny band, and typically that's just a little rubber band, just a little rubber piece of rubber in there. That's a band that goes through, just protect you from folks in here, just protect the tube from getting caught on there. So what you can do is you can always use these. You can cut it, you can cut them and put them in place of that band right there. So that's a good thing you can use them for. But other than that, I still have that band in there. It looks like it has done its job, so I'm not going to replace it. But now what you'll want to do, you want to kind of bring your tire up here a little bit, and now you have this. It's going to have a little tiny, it's going to have the cap, and it's going to have this little nut. You're just going to take the first nut off and the cap off. You're going to leave that second nut on. So you'll take them off. I'm just going to put them to the side. And then what I like to do is I like to put just a tiny bit. You see how this has just a little bit of air in there? Just to kind of keep it, have a little bit of something in there so it doesn't get pinched super easily. So for this, I will put a little bit of air in this tube. So I'm going to go back to the compressor and put a little bit of air in it. Got a little bit of air in here. I'm going to let a little bit of this air out. Just a tiny tad bit of air out of this tube. Just like that. Just a little bit of air is all you need. And I'm going to take a little bit of this baby powder. So I went outside, covered up with some baby powder. Now it's got a nice coat. It's got a little bit of air. Like I said, not a ton of air. You can still kind of fold it and stuff, and it's just not a ton of air. So what you want to do is you want to locate your hole for your stem, and you're going to tuck that in first. You're just going to tuck that in, and you're trying to feed that stem down in there. So now that that's in there, I'm going to go ahead and grab the nut. We're just going to kind of screw the nut down, but not tightly. Just kind of throw it on there, just so it doesn't pull back out through. And then now we're just going to slowly shove this tube down in, work it around, shove it in, work it around, shove it in. Now it should be just like that. Pull that valve stem the rest of the way. Now I'm just going to use the flat parts, try not to pinch the tube. We're just going to slowly work it back around again. Watch to grab, don't grab too much of a bite. Just grab a nice amount of bite and just keep working it around until you have it all the way seated. Like I said, try not to pinch your tube or anything like that. Just keep working it until you have it on there. Now, so where I'm at now is where you're going to get a little bit more of that tension, because because you got all that in. Now you got all this that you have to get in. So, like I said, you're just going to keep trying to work it. It will go in. Just like that. So you should be able to pull this stem up, and then we'll start to tighten it down, and then we'll get the wrench on it, and we'll tighten it down with the wrench. You don't have to have that super tight, just snug it down, and then we'll throw the valve stem on. Now with it, well, first I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw this, put some air in this. Now it holds air. So just like that, that's all it takes to fill up a tire. So I hope you guys learned a little bit. The way I took off the tires, the same way you put it on. Just put everything back the way you did. So I'll get it on the bike, and then we'll see if it holds air with it on the bike, and if it holds some weight on it too. So make sure it holds air with my weight. Make sure it's good. Obviously these tires will need replaced. They're shot, but this is just a little bit, just so I can get by for a little bit till I get new tires, because these tires are really bad. So let's get this tire on. So with this bolt, I got a little bit of anti-seize here. I'm gonna throw some anti-seize on this bolt, so in case whenever I need to take it off again for another tube or a tire, it won't seize on here, and I won't have a heck of a time getting it off. So that's just a little friendly reminder. Put a little bit of grease or anti-seize, something like that, just to lubricate it, to keep it nice and fresh. So whenever you got to take it off, especially tires are something that you're going to take off. I don't care if you think you're never going to, you're definitely going to. Even if you buy like moose bibs or something, you're still going to have to take them off. So that's just a little friendly reminder, just to put a little bit of anti-seize or grease on your bolt, put it down in there, and you'll be good to go. So I'm going to put a little bit of anti-seize, and we're going to get this tire back on. There is a little 10mm. I think I forgot to say it at the beginning. A little 10mm right here. It just goes right in there. It's for this line, so you'll just put it like that, and then this 10 will just go just like that in there, right, just like that. I can't do it one-handed, but you get the gist. It just goes right there, and obviously the bolt's through. And then remember to tighten your brakes back up, readjust your brakes to where they were. So we'll get into that real quick. Okay, so it's down, things back together. Literally, this is like a 30-minute job. If you've never done it before, it might be a little bit longer, but what I'm going to do now, since it's on the ground, it is holding air. I'm just going to go ahead. I just got a random soapy cleaner. You can use soapy water, but you just run it around here like that, and then obviously spray some around your valve stem, and then do it on the other side too. All this is doing is you just want to see if you can see bubbles. Just see if you can see like actual, if it's bubbling, but this looks perfectly fine. There's no bubbling around the actual tire itself. Yeah, so there's no bubbling. It holds air. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Obviously there will be more coming soon. I'm pretty thankful for how much I've actually got. I wasn't expecting to even have how many views I've got on the 50 videos, which I got like 30 some on both of them, so I got like around 60 views between the two, which is actually pretty good for my first two videos. And obviously I'm going to keep them coming. Like I said, I'm going to do some videos on that thing eventually, maybe some videos on that Vulcan, and then some more videos on this. So got the tube on. I hope that pretty much is for any tubed bike, any bike that has a tube. The same thing that works on here will work on this, the same way I put that tube in. Obviously what's going to be different is this bike, I'm pretty sure, yeah, should have two spacers, and then you're going to have to take off, you're going to have to unloosen these two bolts, and you have to loosen the actual bolt. So there's a little bit of difference, but the actual main component of putting in the tube all the same on every bike. So any type of tubed bike, it's all the same. So if you're here and you're on a YZ250, it'll work for you. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Obviously, stay tuned. Please subscribe. Please like if you liked the video. And yeah, I will catch you guys in the next one. So peace out. Peace.